Welcome back to my channel, Bring Peace into Your Life. Today I would like to talk about the sanctuary of the self, a deep meditation on the social battery. The world we inhabit today is one that never truly sleeps. From the moment we open our eyes, to the soft glow of a screen, to the final moments before we drift into slumber, we are bombarded by a relentless, invisible demand for our presence. We call it the social battery, a modern term for a timeless human reality, the finite nature of our internal energy. But when we look deeper beyond the slang and the casual conversations, we find that managing this battery is actually the art of protecting our peace. It is the practice of drawing a circle around our inner world and deciding who and what is allowed to cross that threshold. To bring peace into your life, you must first accept a fundamental truth. Your energy is a sacred resource, not an infinite one. We often live our lives as if we are bottomless wells, expecting to pour out kindness, attention, and labour until there is nothing left but the dry cracks of burnout. We feel a profound sense of guilt when we find ourselves flagging. We sit in social gatherings, nodding and smiling, while internally we are screaming for silence. This is the great theft of modern life, the idea that being available is the same as being good. But a person who is constantly available to everyone eventually becomes available to no one, least of all themselves. You cannot be present if your battery is empty. Think about the physical sensation of a draining battery. It isn't just a mental fog, it manifests in the body. It's the tension in the back of your neck when the music in a room is just a little too loud. It's the way your eyes struggle to focus on the person speaking to you because your brain is trying to retreat into a quiet, dark corner. It's the irritability that flares up over the smallest inconveniences. These are not character flaws. They are not signs that you're antisocial or difficult. They are the bells of your internal sanctuary ringing, telling you that the gates need to be closed for a while so that the grounds can be tended. Peace requires us to dismantle the performance of sociability. Think of how much energy you expend every day just managing the perceptions of others. We curate our words, we soften our opinions, and we amplify our enthusiasm, all to ensure that we are seen as pleasant, capable, and engaged. This performance is a massive energy leak. Imagine a pipe with 1,000 tiny holes. No matter how much water you pump into it, it will never reach the destination. That is what performing does to your peace. When you move towards a life of authenticity, where you allow yourself to be quiet when you are tired, and where you say no without 1,000 elaborate excuses, you plug those holes. You begin to retain the energy that is rightfully yours. Consider the landscape of your social life. We often feel obligated to attend events out of a fear of missing out, or a fear of offending the host, or letting people down. But ask yourself, what are you truly missing when you are there but your spirit is elsewhere? You are missing the opportunity to rest. You are not being truly present. You're missing the chance to reconnect with your own thoughts. When we force ourselves into social situations when our battery is in the red, we aren't actually connecting with anyone. We are simply occupying space. We become shadows of ourselves. True peace comes from the realization that a no to an invite is a yes to your own stability and your own peace. It is a declaration that your internal weather is more important than the external social climate. We must also learn the difference between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is a hunger, a feeling of being disconnected. Solitude, however, is a feast. It is the intentional choice to be alone so that you can hear the sound of your own thoughts. For many, the idea of a night alone is frightening because it forces us to face ourselves without the distraction of other people's noise. But peace cannot be found in the noise. It is found in the gaps. It is found in the 20 minutes of silence before the house wakes up, or the long drive home where the radio is turned off. These moments are not empty, they are full of the potential for restoration. If you do not learn to enjoy your own company, you will always be a slave to the company of others. Consider the people in your life. There's a specific kind of peace that comes from low maintenance friendships. The people with whom you can sit in total silence for an hour and feel completely understood. These are the people who don't drain your battery, they help ground it. Any friend that you don't have to explain yourself to is a friend that can give you peace. On the other hand, there are the high stakes interactions where every word feels like a test. To bring peace into your life, you must shift the balance. You must give yourself permission to spend less time in the storm and more time in the harbour. This isn't about being unkind, it's about being honest and kind to yourself. If you only have 10 units of energy today and a certain event will take 12, you are mathematically choosing to live in a deficit. Peace cannot exist in a deficit. You cannot give from an empty cup. As you go through your week, start to observe your entry and exit points. When you enter a social space, check in with yourself. How much do you truly have to give? And most importantly, give yourself the grace of the early exit. There is a myth that the person who stays until the end of the party is the one who enjoyed it the most. In reality, the person who leaves when they have had their fill is the one who carries the joy of the event home with them. By leaving while you're still feeling whole, you prevent the resentment that inevitably follows exhaustion. You protect the memory of the night and you protect your peace for the following morning. Think about the environments that drain you. Is it the bright lights of a shopping centre? Is it the cacophony of a busy office? Is it the emotional labour of listening to a friend who only ever talks about their own problems? These are all energy taxes. To bring peace into your life, you must become a better accountant of your own energy. You must decide which taxes are worth paying and which ones you can avoid. You might find that by simply wearing noise-cancelling headphones for an hour, or by choosing a quiet park over a busy cafe, you can preserve hours of your battery life. We often talk about recharging, but we rarely talk about what that actually looks like. Recharging isn't just sitting on the couch scrolling through a phone. In fact, that often drains us further because it keeps our brain in a state of passive consumption. Real recharging is active rest. It is doing the things that make you feel like you again. It might be gardening, it might be cooking a meal from scratch, it might be staring out the window at the rain. It is anything that allows your mind to unspool. When you find these activities, guard them fiercely. They are the fuel for your peace. Ultimately, managing your social battery is about reclaiming your sovereignty. It is about realising that your time and your attention are the most valuable things you own. When you stop giving them away out of obligation or fear of judgment, you create a vast, quiet space within yourself. In that space, peace can finally take root. You begin to move through the world, not as a leaf blown about by the demands of others, but as a tree, deeply rooted, steady, and capable of weathering any storm, because you know exactly how to return to your own stillness. You are the gatekeeper, you are the light, and you have every right to turn that light down when the world gets too bright. I've realised recently that I need to do some work on preserving my social battery. I find that I love meeting up with people, having plans, and I always have to have something in the diary, something to look forward to, and that energises me. That keeps me going. But I've realised that there's times, especially after work, when I'm with the kids or at the weekend, that I get to a point where I run out of energy. And for me, it's getting annoyed about silly little things, things that wouldn't normally annoy me. I get some tension in my shoulders and my neck. And I've realised that I need to do some work on me as well. And I think even though I'm a counsellor and I help other people, it doesn't mean that I don't have things that I need to work on myself. And I really need to work on preserving my energy and my social battery. And I think that's something that we could all do with work on. And it's about finding what nourishes you and what fills your battery up and what gives you the energy you need to keep going and do activities that you want to do or things that you need to do, like work and childcare. So it's something that I'm definitely going to be working on, and doing this video and making this video has actually really helped me think about that and put more of a focus onto me thinking about what recharges me and what really preserves my peace and my energy. So I'm going to be working on that for myself in the next couple of weeks, and obviously forever, really, because I need to be looking at it to make sure I'm good and I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm functioning really well for me and for my children. So if you have had difficulty with this, please put in the comments what's happening for you. If you found ways to preserve your peace and preserve your social battery, then let us all know in the comments. I'm open to learning new things. I'm open to new activities that can help me do that. And hopefully someone will put something in the comments that will help you. But it's been lovely doing another video for you. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.